Hey guys, as you can see, today I want to talk about the top 5 Victorinoxes for me. And again, it's a personal opinion, so let's jump right in and see what you think. Here we're gonna have one of my favorite Victorinoxes, one that I use every single day. And this is the Victorinox, I guess it's called Nail Clipper. The design of this Victorinox goes back to the Vanguard models, as you can see, because here we're gonna have the Vanguard style scissors, which I use every single day for hairs, on my beard or on my nose or things like that, or on my ears. So I use this for grooming a lot. This is kind of my grooming Swiss Army knife. We're gonna have here the file, which comes very handy for filing up some my nails or things like that. Next, we're gonna have the blade, which, to be very honest, I don't really understand why this model has a blade, but I don't really use it. I don't think it's suitable for this model, but it's here, and yeah, never really used it. Finally, what makes it so important to me is that this one has as you can see, a nail clipper, and the nail clipper for me is it's an essential item for me to cut my nails, and or from either my fingers or my toes. So I use this this Swiss Army knife I use almost every single day for any given purpose. And here I added a little magnet that I just added here because why not? But to be very honest, this is more make things more clumsy rather than helping. So the nail clipper, it's certainly a must-have for me. And next in line, we're gonna have here one of my favorites, and I might say it's my favorite Victorinox. Yeah, bold statement, right? This is the Victorinox Ranger, and I love this piece. And as if you watch my channel, you know that I have posted a lot about this Swiss Army knife. It's just because I really love this little guy right here. So the Ranger, as you can see here, I added a little split ring fishing split ring over here, and I also added a little snap to make it more sturdy to use with a pocket clip. And the reason why I put both of them over here, as you can see, and I replaced the old ones, is that when I'm using on my pocket, I realized that I like to keep the back of the Swiss Army knife facing outwards and this part here facing my thigh. So this way, when I'm using either a Swiss champ or something like that, any other Swiss Army knife, this is always facing the same position, so I know, it's not going to be bothering me throughout the day. But yeah, just a sideline. So in the first layer of the Ranger, we're gonna have here the can opener, as you can see, and I created a little nick over here on the can opener. You might be able to see it to make it easier to cut boxes and things like that. So this is now very sharp and very useful. I'm really glad that I have done this. I saw this on Felix Imler channel, and I really like the idea, and I implemented on my most beloved Swiss Army knife. Next, we're gonna have here the bottle opener, as you can see, again, very useful. And I'm thinking about doing that little mod over here too, where you turn this into a really nice wire stripper over here. Let me know if you guys would like to see something about that. Next, we're gonna have here the scissors, which to me are the best scissors you can have in your pocket at any given time. And this is just such a superior scissors to anything else you could possibly compare as a pocket knife. So this is the best in class scissors you can have. So I love the scissors, Victorinox scissors, a lot. Next, we're gonna have here my least used tool over here, which is the saw. Funny enough, I mentioned that I don't really see the purpose of the saw for my day-to-day scenario. And the other day I was going to the beach, and on the way to the beach there's a little tree, kind of little path, a sand path covered in trees. And there was one tree that was kind of a messing up and making everybody have to, bend their heads or bow their heads so they won't bump into it. So this came in very handy as I cut it that little branch, and now it's clear, and it's, I never thought I would use it, but now I see the purpose. The other day I was trying to cut a banana bunch out of the tree. So this has been, I've been having more and more use for the saw, and I really appreciate this little guy right here a lot now. Next, we're gonna have the file. This file right here, it's a great file. On this side over here, on the side of the corkscrew, this side is the finer side for this file, and this side right here is the rougher side of the file. On the tip, we're gonna have a sort of a nail cleaner, or you can also use it, to tighten down some small Phillips and things like that, or to poke things with, which I like a lot. And also, for my mod here, I also smoothed a little bit this side over here, because these edges are very rough. The other day I was trying to, file my nails, and I kind of slipped a little bit, and it cut my finger. So that pissed me off, and I decided to just smooth it, especially on the nail, this side, the finer side that I use for nails and things like that. I made it a little bit more smooth. Now this is just perfect for me for my ADC carry, and this side is kind of a rougher or smoother, and this side is rougher in case I need something to cut with a rougher side. So very, very nice how it turned out. Finally, we're gonna have here the big blade for this Swiss Army knife, and which I usually use to cut fruits and things like that. This blade here is my least used blade, to be very honest. I just save it for things that I'm gonna eat. So, and also on my wallet now, I keep a kind of a rubbing alcohol embedded, kind of a rubbing pad with a rubbing alcohol, so I can clean this up whenever I'm gonna use it. So I know the blade is clean and sterilized in case I want to cut some fruits for my daughter or anything like that. So this is gonna be as clean as possible for me and for my family. So yeah. Next, we're gonna have here the small blade, and this is the blade that I really use the most for most of the things, cutting packages, and try to tweak some Swiss Army knives. Also, sometimes you need to go between the layers and try to open them a little bit, and this is the tool that I use the most, or any sort of carving, cutting, or anything like that. This is my blade of choice for sure. Next, as you can see here on the scales we're gonna have, I added a little plus scale, so I had a pen to make it more useful for my ADC. We're gonna have here the toothpick, which again, when I always clean before I leave, and I always clean when I get home. Next, we're gonna have here the tweezers. As you can see, the tweezers are useful. And in the back, we're gonna have the corkscrew. This is one of my choices. I always like to keep a corkscrew handy because I like to be the guy who has something to open a bottle of wine with. And people usually come to me whenever they need to get something open. So it's really nice to have a corkscrew at any given time, and I really see the purpose of it. Also, I tend to do some work on my business or in my house, and this is a very, very good kind of the tool to remove the anchors from the walls in case they get stuck. Next, we're gonna have here the chisel, which to me, it's a really nice tool. I like it a lot, and I use this to carve out some wood from doors and things like that I'm trying to fix. And I really think this is a very useful tool, and I love the fact that this one has a chisel. So this is a killer feature to me. And funny enough, it's on the back side of the file, which is weird because this is for wood, this is for metal, so what's the point, right? Anyways, I forgot to mention about the file over here also has a rougher side to cut metal, by the way, so don't forget that. Next, we're gonna have the flathead, the small flathead, which I probably used once or twice. I'm glad it's here, and don't use it a lot. I used the other day, as you can see, got a little marking over here, but I got the job done. Next, I'm gonna have here a hook, which I also added a little magnet to make it more useful for my needs. And because this is a kind of a 3 millimeters by, I believe it's 2 millimeters thickness, so this sits very flush and perfectly into the loop of the hook over here. So really nice add-on. Next, we're gonna have here the punch, as you can see, which I use a lot to ring things, copper tubing, things like that. So I use that a lot too. Making holes, preparing some point on somewhere where I want to put a screw in. So very useful. Finally, I added a little the little pin over here to make it more useful too, in case I needed to remove a SIM card or something like that. I always like to keep this one. I ended up removing the glass tool, like the small, this guy right here, the small flathead over here. I ended up removing this from this because the other day was kind of using this a lot, and this was kind of in the way, so I removed it. But I tend to have also here the flathead over here. So anyways, yeah, Ranger, I love it. Next, the third one, which actually turned out to be a really good tool, and this is the Victorinox Cyber Tool, right? As you can see, this Cyber Tool is very complete. It will come with the same set of tools usually as Victorinox comes with. This one has a little mod for the magnet on this position. So here we can have the can opener, bottle opener. Next, we're gonna have here the Cyber Tool itself, which is kind of the driver with the bits. And I like to have this one. It's an essential to me because these tools, it will come with Torx adapters, and they come very handy whenever I need a Torx or an Allen key. So the other day I was in my house and I had to fix the lock on the window. This came in very handy. So the fact that I was on my mother-in-law's house, and also I had to fix something, and I'm glad I had this because this got the job done very quickly. So the Cyber Tool, it's an essential item. That's the reason why it's here. And I like the large size because, again, it's the purpose to have a multi-tool. And I don't care how clumsy it is because of this tool is not in the center. I just care that it's here and I can use it. On this, we're gonna have also pliers, which turned out to be technically more of a tweezer than a super tweezer than anything else. They are so precise on the tip over here. I use it a lot, and I'm glad I have this. This actually, it's a very useful tool. Next, we're gonna have here the scissors. Again, you can't have better scissors in your pocket, so I love this tool. And we're gonna have here the saw. We're gonna have here the file, which I still have to do that little modding over here on this edge, so it's here. We're gonna have here the big blade, as you can see, and we're gonna have the small blade on the Cyber Tool. Next, in the back, we're gonna have the corkscrew. This one has the flat head on. This sits in my kind of a EDC box or pouch, as you might say. So I can talk about that in another video, but this is also going to come with a chisel. It's going to come with the flathead, small flathead. It's going to come with the hook, the magnet, and here, as you can see, the pin I ended up adapting in this position right here. So yeah, very useful, and I like it. Oops. I'm probably gonna fix that later. I need to be very precise. and I'm not being very careful now. And finally, we're gonna have here the punch. And as you can see, I modded it with a titanium scales I've bought on AliExpress, and they look gorgeous. They look amazing. I like how this turned out, to be very honest. And finally, we're gonna have here the toothpick, and we're gonna have the tweezers on the side. Just because of course, I want to see it. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to remove this. I'm sorry. Whenever I need it, just remove it like so. Again, Victorinox Cyber L, great tool. I love it, and I can't live without it. Next, we're gonna have here an old friend of mine, which is, let me try to focus this. I'm gonna have here the Outrider. The Outrider has been with me for quite a long time now, and as you can see, it has seen quite some use, and I don't see myself getting another tool to replace it, because to me it feels just right in the hand, and the reason why I like it is because it's gonna be providing me with a bigger blade whenever I need it. So this is a bigger locking blade, very important. And this is an essential kind of a feature to me when I'm talking about Swiss Army knives. So as you can see, it's gonna come with a bigger blade. It's gonna come also with a can opener. It's gonna come with a locking bottle opener, which is great for priming stuff, and used it quite a few times. As you can see, it has some marks over here, so it's something that I really use. Next, scissors. Again, these scissors, to me, I can't really go with a Swiss Army knife without scissors. It's an essential item to me. That's the reason, as you can see, most of my Swiss Army knife, if not of them, all of them have scissors. So scissors is an essential. And in the back of the scissors, actually, it's gonna come with this tool, which turns out to be one of my most used tools lately to replace batteries on my daughter's toy. So it's a great tool to have, and electronics and things like that, I ended up using this a lot. So a very useful tool. Finally, we're gonna have here the saw, and I wish this was a file, right? But I talked about that. As you can see, I made a custom mod. Let me try to see if I can find it over here. I ended up, if you don't get from Victorinox, you ended up building yours. So this is my custom mod that I've made with a file, which turned out to be more useful. But again, we are only going to be talking here about some Swiss Army knives that you can really buy today. So the Victorinox Outrider, it's definitely a must buy. Here we're gonna have the corkscrew. Again, I always like to have some, corkscrew with me at any given time. I added the little flat over here, which is stuck. Let me see. Yeah, it's stuck for some reason. Maybe I tightened it down too much. Next, we're gonna have here the punch, which curiously enough, it doesn't come with a little loop but I don't use the loop a lot. But here, as you can see, the punch, I used it quite a few times. I also added the little snap ring over here, the little fishing split ring, and the snap over here too. And this again sits in this position in my pocket with the back facing outwards, and this is just a perfect position for me for this Swiss Army knife. I like this Swiss Army knife a lot. It's a very useful tool. And as you can see, I usually have it so that the pocket clip goes straight all the way down on my trousers, on my pants. So yeah, quite useful. Finally, this is technically not a Swiss Army knife, but again, it's my sidekicker, and I bring with me on my belt every single freaking day. This is the Victorinox Swiss Spirit X, I believe it is, because it comes with scissor, of course. And this I ended up buying lately, and ever since I bought it, it's been sitting on my belt, and I can't take it off my belt at all. So this tool right here, it's a very, very useful tool because I use it. I like to have it because of the big pliers it's gonna come with. Compared to the how can I say, the super tweezers, you can definitely see the difference why this one tends to be more useful for, you know, work than this one. I use this for electric stuff usually, but this one is kind of all-purpose, also electric, or try to really fix something bigger at any given time. So pliers, really important, really useful. I have this in my belt really because of the pliers that it comes with. Also, as you can see here, one of the really great tools over here we have is the file. And this file, it's really important because it kind of it's a better file to me than this one. And let me explain you why. The other day I was having to fix, I was in my grandma's house and I had to fix the door. And to fix the door, I was trying to file down the little frame around it. And I had just a narrow space to work with. So this is, as you can see, the markings over here, the pattern over here goes all the way to the tip. While this one, it stops over here. So as I was trying to get to work in such tight spot, and I wasn't able to get all the way to the end because this part was actually doing nothing. So I took out my Swiss tool over here, Spirit, and this part over here actually got the job done because I only had this space, much of space to, and this part over here has abrasion. So it turned out to be very, very useful that I had this. So the file is a very good one. Then we're gonna have here the can opener, or as you can see, with a little flat head on top. We're gonna have here the tool that is missing that I use a lot too, which is the Phillips. This big size Phillips is very useful. It's a kind of a complementary Phillips to this one right here, which, you know, it's a small one. So this one, in case I need it, I have a proper Phillips to work with. And next, I'm gonna have here the small flat head over here as well. And then next we're gonna have here the scissors. Again, I just can't go without scissors. And these scissors are actually more blunt on the tip than compared to the Victorinox. But I don't really use them to cut my nails because they tend to be very thick. I don't like it to cut nails, but I usually prefer the regular Victorinox one. On the back here, we're gonna have the saw, as you can see. Again, very good saw, but it's kind of a small. I like the one on the Outrider better, but this one gets the job done too in case you need it. It's good actually to cut through PVC or plastic too, so this is made to me for that situation. We're gonna have here the reamer. Then we're gonna have the prying tool, which is actually very thick in a sense, and it's gonna come with a flat head, the wire stripper over here, and very good for prying stuff. Next, we're gonna have here the chisel, which is again a very good one. It also is gonna come with electrician blade in the sense over here for, you know, as a curved, for really good for electric work. So it's good to have it with you at any given time. You never know when you're gonna need it. Finally, we have here the blade. I could have gone with the MX version, but it was I got this on sale, so it was a lot cheaper than the MX BS version or the MX version for this one. So this turned out to be what I bought, and I really like it. I don't really use this blade, so it's here, but I don't really use it. But I'm glad I have the pliers on me at any given time. Yeah, guys. So let me put this here again. The Ranger. This actually should have been the first one because it's the one that I like the most. We have here, in order of preference, let me put this way, in order of preference would be something close to this, to be very honest. And but they are so essential in the sense that I can't really say which one I like the most. But these are my top 5 Victorinoxes to carry. I really think that this is a killer complete combo to a lot of people. Some people into maybe on the bushcraft would like to have the wood or the 55 version, the Ranger 55 version, because of the longer blade. And the, you know, maybe the saw. I thought about this one, to be quite honest, and I have for quite some time, but it turns out that I don't really use it because I think it's a bigger of a blade, and it tends to scare people whenever you need to pull this out to work with. Unless you're in a bushcraft situation where people, you know, are used to the context of having blades. These blades over here, they don't seem you know, dangerous in a sense. People don't perceive danger with these. Maybe on the 111 millimeter they do, but the other ones certainly they don't. So I like this setup over here as my top 5 because of that. All right, guys, it's a long video. I hope you guys like it, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you do, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.